I think he's brilliant. I think he has fresh ideas. But I'm under no illusion that even if he did become president, that he could change the reality of black suffering in America, because when you are running for something, you can say a lot of things, but when you sit in the seat and you feel the energy of electricity putting something on your backside, the forces that surround power is always the real power.
What's up, everybody? What's up, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to this little corner of the internet where we learn, we inspire, we motivate ourselves, and we try to build our own knowledge by telling our own stories from our own perspective as Black people. Now, in today's video, I want us to juxtapose perhaps arguably two great men, not in equal measure, but in their own capacities. And the two men are the former president of the United States of America and the only African American or Black president so far, Barack Obama, and the head of the Nation of Islam, the Black nationalist, Louis Farrakhan. I say these are two great men in their own different ways. And now, comparing these two men, we can say that initially, Minister Louis Farrakhan was really in support of Obama in the years around 2008. He even said he was the hope for the world, and he likened him, or he compared him to the Messiah. But over the years, that relationship grew complex, and he became a critic of Obama's presidency, actually criticizing him on his stance on foreign policy issues, especially that had to do with the NATO-led Libya invasion, and also on what he thought that Obama, being a Black man, did not really come out clear to stand for Black people, especially the social injustices persevered by Black people, African Americans and Black Americans and Black people worldwide. So let's listen into the full clip, and then at the end of this, we might have something to add on here. So let's listen.
On CNN, I was questioned after I spoke in 2007 about Barack Obama. And CNN said, well, what do you think about this young man? I said, I think he's brilliant. I think he has fresh ideas. But I'm under no illusion that even if he did become president, that he could change the reality of black suffering in America, because when you are running for something, you can say a lot of things, but when you sit in the seat and you feel the energy of electricity putting something on your backside, the forces that surround power is always the real power. President Obama does not run this country. President Obama has been chosen to govern white affairs. And if in that process we get something, it won't be because the governing powers want it. It will be because we organized and forced a government to speak to our needs. Now, look, thank you for the question. You know, I want it clearly said in love that I love my brother. I voted for him. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I was out there with my wife voting for our brother. I, like you, am very proud that a black man sits in the White House. But I also understand very clearly, and we should understand that it is the White House. And until we exercise power to force that house to address our agenda. Now remember, our dear sister Julianne Malvo mentioned A. Philip Randolph. Man, that was a long time ago. And the cry was jobs and justice. In the March on Washington in 1963, the cry was jobs and justice. In the 20-year anniversary of the March on Washington, the cry was jobs and justice. We are now in 2010. And what is the cry?
Jobs and justice.
Well, wait a minute. How long are you going to sit around begging white people to do for us what we have the power to do for ourselves?
Okay, so you've had, and I personally tend to think Minister Louis Farrakhan is a great man. And even though not everybody does agree with him sometimes, but it doesn't help to attack an individual, but it is necessary to be critical or to critically look into what someone has to say. You might not like a person, but someone might have a message for you. And this is not in any case to try and say that I personally do not like Barack Obama. I personally have had and still love Barack Obama. He is a sense of pride for us as black people. We have a few things we have, pertaining to he didn't do as much as we expected of him being a black man and the help that he would have really brought to black people in general or black people in the United States of America pertaining social injustice and the whitewashed system in America. But still, he's a great man. I really have to agree. He's a great man of the soil, a black man who has, written our history somewhere there in that White House. Of course, some people don't love him, and that is okay. And so is the case for Minister Louis Farrakhan. Not everybody will love him, and that is still okay. That is very, very normal of we as human beings. But what about the messages that people pass? We can decide to be objective and just look at the message. So I came across this video, and of course, this was done some time back, but we're still living through the system, and it got me thinking. Really, it tends to look like this. when black people are successful economically and in most cases politically, they often tend to lean towards the white power structure, kind of like they're trying to please the white powers. Uh, they kind of become whitewashed in a way, and they lose their blackness. And what is really behind here? So this video really tells us what's going on. Because if you look at this video critically, is he doesn't Louis Farrakhan doesn't pick a point, doesn't pick a problem with Obama himself as a person, an individual, but the system, the entire system. And he puts it clear like this. So the president, in most of these so-called, especially democracies, modern democracies, the president in person doesn't really have as much power as we purport to really want to believe that they own and they control that much power. Actually, the power is already with the system that has been instituted well right before and long before the president is installed. And I say installed because systems install presidents. Okay, that the power really lies in the apparatus around the presidency, in the people around the president, not exactly the president, you know. So when we see our black people tend to lean towards the white power structure, is because there is an inevitable force in the apparatus of the system around the presidency that probably is going to be hard to challenge. And this really is the case with even African presidents. You know, there is a system around the presidency in which we often understand that they determine what, in fact, who the president becomes and what the president makes of an administration, for example. Now, even looking at the case of the United States of America today, with Donald Trump as the president of the American people, you look at it, and while the people of America might have gone to the ballot to elect Donald Trump and others voted for Kamala, they didn't at any given point choose people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg. But you see, these people now come in, and those are the people who hold a lot of power, determine a lot of things. Now, people in the United States of America currently are complaining and crying because, you know, they think, what is this happening with what is happening with the White House? How comes people like Elon Musk sneak their way into very sensitive places in the White House while we didn't vote for that? Because now even those people that voted for Trump didn't see Elon Musk in the picture, but right now he's so central to things going on, policies going on in the United States of America. So that means the people around the president really have a lot more power, a lot more say, and this inevitably affects anybody that comes to power. And President Barack Obama and other presidents that will come in the future of the United States of America and the black nations in general are not really they are also subject to the same scenario. I mean, they are not an exception. They'll also be affected by powers from outside, because this really does tell us something. After all, it is called the White House for a reason. It is a White House for a reason. Did you ever think, why is it really a White House? What we need as a black nation, black people, from east to the far west, you know, wherever black people are in the world, we need to also consolidate our power and make our black political identity a strong unit without the division that exists today. And then we will have the so-called, what I'm calling, the apparatus that can surround the presidency. If now we have President Donald Trump, surrounded by his white friends, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, so on and so forth. If we have our own Barack Obama being surrounded and protected by a black power structure, then we can hold him to account when he doesn't deliver. But a one-man army cannot really beat a whole entire system. So we need to consolidate power. We need to come together. We need to build a political and economic muscle as black people. Because if we don't do that, then we'll always have a one-man army, and that is going to have little to no significance when it comes to what we want, our own emancipation as black people, liberation of black people, holding to account historical injustices and social systemic injustices, something else that Minister Farrakhan puts it clear is black people, and this is what I've just been saying, must stop begging for any help from white people. Because historically, white people have never helped black people with anything really significant. Any freedom, any kind of achievement that we've had as black people in and outside of Africa, in and outside of America, Northern American continent, Southern American continent, the Caribbeans, in Europe, or anywhere else black people have been able to achieve anything significant is because we have fought for that ourselves. We have to fight, we have to press, and for us to win any kind of fight, unity is the first thing. Lying to ourselves at any given point that white people are going to give us anything, then that's just a daydream. So yeah, I think there are a few things we need to do as black people, but our unity should be the first thing, because then if we have one man who is not surrounded by his people that can't protect him from a subjective system, then black person, a black person in power might have little to no power to change the status quo. I don't know what you think about this. As usual, I would love to interact, to see what you think about this. You can leave me a comment. Please share this video, give this video a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel and check our other videos for more knowledge, for more information, and empower ourselves as black people. So until next time, I will be happy to see you in the next video. Peace out.